on the safe side. And I checked myself in. I got my 5 days there, but I never got to the point of where I had any shakes. I would, if I felt off, like maybe a little touch of like, I say hangover, but I never felt like sick or anything like that. I might drink early. I went from kind of like not drinking as a, sport, so to say, just for fun with friends to like, I remember the day there was a fifth. I remember the day like it was yesterday. There was a fifth of Rumpel sitting on my dresser from the party the day before. And it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. And I looked at it and I just had this like, drink me, right? And I was like, oh, well, Sunday, who cares? And that was it, right? And that was my like first, for no particular reason, day drinking. And that just picked up from there. And suddenly, like, I don't know, man, I didn't make like this conscious decision to drink all the time, but like it sounded fun. Now I know that like I just was miserable as a person, right? Inside and out. And so it was easy to just go, I'll drown it out in this. We'll cross this bridge tomorrow. I don't want to deal with it today. I'm not ready for it today. And that's not the way. You never fix anything, of course, right? You just end up on this wicked cycle that doesn't solve anything. And really, whether you're paying attention or not, it's just making things worse. Like you talked about, like liver failure, right? And that's, I was lucky in that I didn't have like these physical problems, but I will tell you this, 30 days after I quit drinking, I had my physical. My doctor looked at my blood work stuff and he goes, you quit drinking, didn't you? And I was like, wait, what? I was like, 30 days ago. Why? He goes like, your blood work, you're normal. He was like, you're all normal now. He was like, last year when you did your physical, your numbers were like all over the place in all the categories of the effects of drinking on the body. He goes, and now everything is normal. I was like, really? 30 days normal? He goes, yeah, it's amazing how fast your body will heal itself if you just give it a chance to, Jason. I'm like, holy cow. Bro, I had no idea. Why didn't you drop this knowledge on me earlier? Where was I? Did I miss all the education on what drinking does to you? I don't know, but it seems like somebody should have dropped this knowledge on me. Maybe let me make some decisions with more knowledge in my toolbox. You know what I mean? So it was little things, right? I grab onto these little things that go, yeah, all the reason in the world. Man, I wake up, I never feel crappy. Never. I'm never tired. I'm never anything, right? I don't get sick of that. I haven't been sick since I quit drinking, not even a cold. Like it's just this, I wouldn't change anything about it, right? I only wish I could have done it earlier. My dad died in 2012. I remember when I was 21 or 22, my dad sat me down, right? Big friend, the fatherly talk, right? And of course, at 21, your dad still doesn't know anything yet. Yeah. You're not old enough to admit that your parents know something. He's like, Jason, here's the thing. Not everybody can drink. It's just the truth. He goes, a lot of people can. Some people just can't. You happen to be one of those people that can't. And I wish you'd accept that and understand that, and you'd avoid a lot of trouble I think you're going to have in your life because of it. And once you get sober, you think, man, I wish I would have listened earlier. He died in 2012. And so one of the biggest regrets I carry with me is that my dad never got to see me as this productive person who owns a company or has sobriety or is just normal, bro. Like, what are we talking about? I'm just some normal ass dude that lives a normal ass life now, right? And I wish so badly that my dad could have even seen that for 5 minutes, let alone, 5 and change years, because that would be this thing that I would be so proud of, to be able to show him that he was right. And I wish I would have taken that advice sooner.
Yeah, I think he knows, man. I'm a firm believer in the afterlife, so.
Are you? Okay, well, then we'll roll with that, right?
Yeah,
and
I think he knows, man.
Hopefully he's looking down from somewhere and he smiles on it, right? And my old man, right? He smiles and then goes, God, you stubborn son of a bitch. You could just listen to me when you could have. Wouldn't you? I can hear his voice. Wouldn't you listen to your old dad once in a while? You might find out I know a thing or two.
Now, when he told you that though, when you were younger, like, did you have resentments? Did it just go in one ear out the other? Obviously, you remember it.
In and out, right? I just remember the moment thinking, like, you don't know shit. How would you know? That's what I was thinking. How would you know, right? You're not around me when I'm out. You don't see what I even do. How would you know problem, no problem, anything? And I let it go, right? Chalked it up to parent speech. My dad drank, right? Who are you? This was like when he had the smoking talk with me. He smoked cigarettes.
Just like,
I was like, I remember him like talking to me, right? And I'm like, you got a pack of Marlboro Lights in the golf cart right there, Mr. Non-Smoker. Mr. You shouldn't smoke, do as I say, not as I do. You ever had one of those speeches? Do as I say, not as I do? Like, beat it. Beat it. I got no time for none of that. I had a counselor in a drug program years ago, right? He had never drank or used drugs ever. Never tried them. Mm-hmm. I went, so how exactly is it that I should hang my hat on anything with you? What do you know? The only thing you know is that you haven't tried it, and you are one drink or one drug away from being in the same class we're in right now. You don't even know. And you're just, you're young. You're looking for any reason to tell a person to take a hike, right? Mm-hmm. Not your way, my way. My way for better or worse, right? I'm going to learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm. And then you can just go in there. And I took that opportunity because I had a therapist that, he smoked a joint in high school once. But see, he made the mistake and told me that he understands what I'm going through because he did that. I thought he was joking, and he wasn't. So I just was like, you know what? I'm not giving this guy anything. I'm just going to bullshit my way through every session. And that wasn't good for me. It was just really a waste of time. But I just thought, whatever. I'm going. It'll make other people happy, and I'll still go home and drink if I want because that's what I want to do, and that's how I know how to deal with things. But now, though, it seems like.
Go ahead. Sorry, buddy.
I just want to bring this up real quick. It seems like you are kind of taking your dad's advice about the smoking or not smoking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. So today's 100 days.
Damn.
Today is my 100th day since I quit smoking cigarettes. I don't know, man. That's the one that I thought would be the harder thing to like, and it was the harder, right? And I still have moments where I'll think about it. I read this book called Easy Way to Quit Smoking, and they all base it on the parameters that you live dealing with two monsters, the small monster and the big monster. And the small monster is the actual physical addiction to the drug nicotine. Mm-hmm. The large monster is your mental addiction to smoking, right? What you've heard everybody say, I smoke because it calms me down. It focuses me. It de-stresses me. It wakes me up. It gets me motivated. It's a reward and blah, 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 blah. And all the while, none of those things are true. You can't have all those things, right? It's not a one-stop drug that fixes all things mental for you, right? And it eases boredom or is entertainment or any of these things. And so I wrapped my mind around the idea that I wasn't giving up anything. That's the message of the book, right? Realize that you are not giving up anything. Smoking cigarettes, right, to get nicotine, they always say it in the book, and I have adopted this in a lot of things, is smoking cigarettes to cure your nicotine addiction is like wearing tight shoes all day just to get the relief of taking them off. And I thought, yep, yeah, buddy, that's the one, right? And even after I read that book, like I wanted to quit smoking, but I wasn't willing. And then, I don't know, a couple weeks later, I was outside my driveway smoking, and I just went, you know what? F these things. And I threw it away. Quit smoking, haven't smoked since, right? And anytime I smell a cigarette or I see a cigarette or I think about a cigarette, I go, man, I'm a happy non-smoker now. F those things, right? That's my mantra, F those things. And so that's embedded in my mind above and beyond that book. And it's, I have my days where I think about it, but nothing that makes me go over. It's kind of like early in my sobriety, I would think here and there about it, but go, nah, you're doing the right thing, right? You're happy. I'm happy not to be drinking. I wouldn't go back to what I was before ever. And that, that matters. Like the sobriety from alcohol and drugs and all that matters to me because that's a really solid foundation that I can build on, with things like quitting smoking cigarettes, right? My next journey is to stop drinking pop. I have a horrible pop addiction, bro. I love it. It ain't like booze, dog. I love it. I love me some pop. Give me a can of Mountain Dew all day, day, day. Right? But it's not good for you, right? And I read a book, Good Sugar, Bad Sugar, same guy that wrote the smoking book, and it works under the same idea that you recognize that things like that, they're bad for you. And even though you get enjoyment in the moment, right? It's not good for you. You don't get anything gained from it. And that's, so I haven't launched into that yet, right? I'm still getting my feet under me from not smoking, and I try not to take anything on too fast, but I have this confidence now that like, oh, I can manhandle whatever, dog. We've been there. We got knocked off drinking, knocked off smoking. Like, what's next? I'll take on the world.
Oh, sugar. It's hell. They say it's worse than crack, man.
Sweet sugar.
I was
trying to grab a Mountain Dew right now.
I was forced to quit sugar. Well, here's the thing though about the sugar. Well, I'll tell you my story, and then I'll tell you this thing I battle now. But obviously alcohol does a lot of bad things to the body. We already kind of discussed that. But my pancreas, it had taken its toll on that. And as I was newly in sobriety, I think I was after the hospital. I had 2 or 3 months clean, and I was like finding it very easy to go out and have a steak dinner and not have to go, how much money do I got? Because I wasn't buying alcohol. And so I had this like extra money in there. So I would just go eat dinner and be like, hell yeah, man, give me the best steak. Why not? I deserve it. And I remember this one night I went to this buffet down in Fort Smith, Arkansas when I lived there. And I thought, just to have fun, I'm going to have every single dessert on that little buffet tray, and I did. And I hurt, and then the next day I woke up, and it felt like gas almost, and then it wasn't, I called or I went to the doctor, and they're like, oh, well, come see us if this doesn't work, but we're going to give you this medication. And I'm like, all right. So then it didn't work. So they're like, we'll go to the emergency room, and I did, and I had acute pancreatitis. And at first, when I got there, they didn't know. They were just like, all right, well, you got kidney stones, and we need to remove your gallbladder. And I'm like, well, hold on. And then I had another doctor come tell me that he needs to look at my liver. And I was like, I already got a guy for that. Like, you don't need to put some camera down my throat. Sounds like a lot of money that's going to cost. I'd rather not. And then the other guy comes in, he was like, oh, quit eating sugar. And I was like, I'm going to go with that guy. I was like, how about let's not do surgery. Let's not stick anything down my throat. And I'm going to go with the acute pancreatitis thing. And I'll just eat turkey sandwiches. And so then I cut out sugar for a while. And I lost a bunch of weight, started feeling good, was exercising. And then I tried drinking pop again. Doesn't work. Like, it's too sugary. Like, I just can't take it. So I switched to like Diet Coke, and I switched to zero sugar Powerade and Gatorade, stuff like that. And now I'm being told, well, that stuff that's in there is worse than sugar. Aspartame or something. I'm like, well, Jesus, which one is it, man? So then I go like the addict now, and I'm like, F it then. I'm eating sugar. So I went on this ice cream kick, gained 100 pounds, but I'm still drinking no sugar Powerade. So I'm kind of mixing it, I'm on the edge. And I heard this lady talk the other day, and she said that it was when she got her 2 years is when she lost her appetite for sugar. So I'm like, well, that's about a month away. So I'm putting it on the record right now, right here with you, Jason. December 15th, 2020, I will cut back on sugar. Like, seriously. And I'm going to tell my wife, my fiance, I'm going to tell her, honey, quit baking these. Because I think she likes me fat for some reason. I don't know if it's like, so like, she's like, oh, other women won't be all hitting on him or something, or maybe she's like, I like sleeping next to fat guy. I don't know. But she's baking like all these pies, and she's getting really good at it. And the fridge always has ice cream in it. It's kind of like when we were drinking, it would always have some kind of liquor in there somewhere. Nope. Now it's like ice cream and cakes and pies but
we're still similar, bro. We're still similar. I lost a bunch of weight when I first quit drinking, but I used sugar. Like, I drank pop, and I had the same thing. Like, who cares? I'm not drinking anymore. I'm aces. Mm-hmm. So I lost like 40 pounds, and then like quick snap, gained her all back. Thanks so much, sugar. The lovely makers of Mountain Dew brings you sides. exposed under your T-shirt, looking thick, right? Mr. Thickness running the streets. And it's terrible, right? That stuff's so good. I read an article about a week ago that said that sugar, processed sugar, is as addictive as heroin, alcohol, cigarettes, or any drug.